Hello students, I am Sheikh Mijid. Welcome to the session on Coulomb's law. In this class, we are going to cover Coulomb's law, the vector form of Coulomb's law, and the meaning of each term in Coulomb's law. Also, we study about significance of Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is a fundamental law of electrostatics. It gives the force between the two charges and quantify it. That means we get the numerical value of the force between the two charges. This law was experimentally proved in 1786. Even though it is 234 years old, still it is relevant and we have so many applications which is using Coulomb's law. Let us see all the things later. Now we go to the Coulomb's law. Right? So let us assume that we have two static charges located in space. That charges are Q1 and Q2. They are static charges. That means they are not moving, they are in stationary position and their position is fixed in space. Let us assume that the distance between the two charges is r. Then, as per the Coulomb's law, the force between the two charges is directly proportional to the magnitude of first charge Q1, magnitude of second charge Q2, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. The proportionality constant is K. So F is equal to K into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. Right? So this is a scalar form of Coulomb's law because we know charge is represented in Coulomb, that is a scalar. R is a distance, that is also a scalar. K is a constant, that is also a scalar. So this equation is a scalar form of Coulomb's law. But we know that force is a vector. So we have to write this equation in vector form also. Then you may ask one question, when we have to use scalar form, when we have to use vector form in the exam. Suppose in the exam, if they give only the magnitude of the charge, you use scalar form. If they give both magnitude and location of the charge, then we have to use vector form. When I solve the problem, I will explain everything very clearly. Now we go to the vector form of Coulomb's law. See, we know that force is K into Q1, Q2 divided by R square, right? So now I have to write it in vector form. So whenever vector form comes into picture, we have to see which charge is giving force on another charge. So let us assume charge Q1 is exerting force on charge Q2. So that is given the notation F21. That means charge 1 is exerting force on charge Q2. So this is a vector, right? So how a scalar becomes vector? We have to include unit vector. That unit vector is R12 cap. Cap means it is a unit vector. So in which direction? We know that unit vector is giving the direction to the vector. So scalar without unit vector is a scalar only. So if you include a unit vector, it will become a vector. Now F becomes a vector because of this R12 cap. So where this R1 will be lying? This is lying along the line connecting the two charges. Let us go to the image and we see this. Here you see the R12 vector is lying along the line which connects these two charges, right, in this direction. Clear? So you see why F21 is given this direction. This is F21 is nothing but force, charge 1 is giving force to charge 2. Here we know that Q1 is positive charge, Q2 is also positive charge. When charges are having the same polarity, they will repel. Same charges repel each other. So Q1 repels Q2, that's why are pushed. So this is push in this side. Similarly, Q2 pushes Q1 this side. They are not attractive force. So R12 is lying along this direction. Similarly, R21 lies along this direction. Right? If we find F12, this is F12 direction. Why it is F12 direction? Because Charge 2 is acting on charge 1, right? So that is the meaning. So this is a vector form of Coulomb's law. F21 is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R12 squared you can put, and R12 squared into R12 cap. We know the unit vector is given by R cap is equal to R vector divided by mod R, or magnitude of R. So this is a vector form of Coulomb's law. Now we study about the constant K. The K is known as proportionality constant, and its value is 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square by Coulomb square. It is C power minus 2, right? So the expression for K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is a permittivity of free space. Epsilon naught value is given by 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb squared by Newton meter square. In exam, they won't give K value. We have to remember that value and use when they ask the problem. So please memorize K value. The unit is very, very important. But it is Newton meter square into C power minus 2. You may feel tough, but it is not tough. It is very, very easy. Let me explain how to find the unit. So we know that F is equal to K into Q2 by R square. So K is F into R squared by Q1 into Q2. What is the unit of force? Newton. What is the unit of distance? R is a distance. Distance is meter, so it is meter square. What is the unit of charge Q1? Coulomb. What is the unit of charge Q2? Coulomb. So C into C, C squared. That's why the unit of K is Newton meter square by Coulomb square. Like that, you can find any unit if you are knowing the equation. Similarly, we find unit of epsilon naught. We know K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. When I find the unit, we don't take a constant into account, so just simply leave it. So K is 1 by epsilon naught. So this implies epsilon naught is equal to 1 by K. What is the unit of K? K is Newton meter square by C square. That C square will come up. So it is Coulomb squared by Newton meter square. You see, it's simple, right? So Newton meter square into C power minus 2. Similarly, the unit of epsilon naught is Coulomb squared by Newton meter square. Right? So that's all about this session. Now, I have given some questions for checking your understanding of this video. Please find the answer for this and post it in comment section. We will discuss the answers. If you are having any doubt, kindly ask me in comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Thank you.